I don't fully remember exactly what my first digital camera was. It was just kind of that fuzzy era when they were starting to show up in secondhand stores and they were kind of cheap. I think it was an Agfa ePhoto something, like a 300 series or something. I forget. It had that like twisty thing that was going on, like with the Nikon Coolpix at the time, because that was all the rage. It was only like 1 or like 1.3 megapixels. It had a smart media card for memory storage. The photos were okay, but they were slow. I don't even think I have any photos from that camera anymore. But I replaced it not long after with this. This was also at Value Village where I got the ePhoto, and this is the Olympus C-2100 UZ. It's a 2.1 megapixel stabilized digital camera with an enormous optical zoom on it. And I love this camera. Like, I used this camera from like 2004, 2005, all the way up to 2010. The resolution of this camera natively is 1600 by 1200 JPEG format. It'll do TIFF format for high quality. It'll even do video, even though it's like 320 by 240 and some ungodly terrible resolution, and you can hear the autofocus like easily in the microphone.
This is the video quality and the resolution that you can get out of this thing. Oh yeah, I can feel the early 2000s in this.
But as a result, I've kind of held on to this camera because the photographs it took were just so good, and I've taken so many photographs with this camera. This is the camera that I started off doing time-lapse and long exposure photography with because this camera would let me do that. It has a bunch of features built onto it that you would expect from a higher-end digital SLR, which at the time I just simply couldn't afford. It has this fancy little LCD on the top, macro controls, you can control drive, you have your neat little zoom control here, autofocus, it has a flash built into it, of course. This one here even still has the 64 megabyte smart media card that I got for it in 2007 when I was in Samoa. And it also still works. Like, I can power it on, it takes 4 AA batteries. Normally I was using this thing with a set of 4 rechargeable batteries. It has an LCD viewfinder, it has an LCD screen on the back. The images are okay, it's fine, whatever. For what it was, I think I spent like $25 on this camera. But as you can see, I have worn this camera completely out. I've got dents in the front here. I am missing the camera grip right here. The plastics have all had the paint worn off of it. I know for a fact that I've actually broken this off and glued it on at least once. Even the viewfinder boot is all ripped and torn, and there's rust and dirt starting to show up in various places around it. So understandably, when I retired this camera, I felt bad for retiring it, but it was just time to do it. And then many years later, pretty much a decade later actually, I found another 2100 UZ. This one, however, yeah, in the box. Fantastic. This also cost me like $25 if I recall. So for the remainder of this video, we're going to continue to talk about this fantastic C-2100 UZ. And while I won't be able to talk in specific details about stuff like, oh, it has this kind of color reproduction and aberration is like this. I mean, I'm good with cameras, but I'm not a camera and photography expert. We'll continue on the rest of the video with this here, the brand new inbox one. We're just going to do an unboxing video here right now. Why not? So let's just go for a whole round on the box here for starters. Camedia C-2100 UZ, UZ standing for ultra zoom, and it says it's powerful. 10-time optical zoom, 38 to 380 millimeter equivalent with optical image stabilization. There is 2.7 times continuous digital zoom, but no one really likes digital zoom, especially cameras at this time. Not really all that great. Versatile, transfer images easily to PC or Mac with built-in USB connectivity, plus video out for connectivity to TV or VCR, and sound recording with built-in microphone. Well, I've already explained to you just how terrible the video is on this here. The USB connectivity, I didn't actually have a USB cable for this, so I've actually gone and almost worn out the card slot on this, just inserting and removing the card many times. I had a program for Linux, and I had this janky USB cable eventually, but when Linux decided to update random stuff on me and break my software, and everyone was like, well, just go switch over to this, I just gave up with that and just went back to the memory card. No problems ever since. High quality, 1600 by 1200 resolution CCD for photo quality prints. And it is. I still insist. The pictures that this camera makes are absolutely fantastic. And accurate. Electronic viewfinder, EVF, with full information display. Basically, they're talking about the viewfinder here having an LCD screen, and they're also talking about the extra LCD that's up here and over here. It gives me all the information I need. It lets me know what settings are set. And while the color reproduction off an LCD that tiny isn't all that great, I still get a general idea. The box looks great. Otherwise, there's the camera. Boom. I can see the serial tag right there. What do we have? Smart media card. Full information. LCD control panel displays camera settings, exposures. We already gone over that. Accurate electronic viewfinder. We went over that. Dioptic correction for viewfinder sharpness. Around the time I got this camera, I had to get glasses. And that diopter adjustment helped me for many years, because having to deal with glasses and a digital camera is usually not great. But with the diopter, I don't need my glasses. I can just set it to where my optimal focus is, and then I can work without having to deal with my glasses. Computer connections for USB and serial NTSC. Yeah, we get the idea. I did mention serial there. We'll get back to that. And we have the 1.8-inch TFT wide view LCD. Are there system requirements on this thing at all? No. Just the other side here, built-in multi-mode flash, camera control dial, tele-wide zoom lever and shutter release button. This buddy right here that rocks back and forth. The 2.1 megapixel CCD. This is really, it's all the same thing I just mentioned. Here we go. Yeah, 10 times optical glass zoom lens with an f-stop of 2.8 or f3.5 with image stabilization. The stabilizer is really good. And 49 millimeter threaded lens barrel. I actually used to have like a rubber cup on the end here, and that allowed me to just kind of have a boot and anyways, I was able to put accessories onto there that let me go from 49 millimeter to, I believe, 50 millimeter. I had a couple of weird size lens filters and all that, and I was just threading them on there until I dented the hell out of the lens. All right, let's open it. Okay, and there is the price tag I got for this thing. So I bought this thing, this box unit here, September 15th, 2019. I paid $29.99 for it at Value Village. There is our serial and warranty registration card. So that's still all there. Options. Hey, so the P330N printer, the FL40 flash, and the P400 printer, none of which I own. There's a PCM-CIA adapter, which I don't own. And for best inkjet print quality, Olympus recommends pictorial high gloss white film. I can't make any recommendations on what kind of gloss print medium to use because I don't use any of those. I was mainly just working in digital. So we have the manual for a camera bag I don't have. Cool. Damon Photo Marketing, which is basically just, please fill this out. Why did you buy this product? Please send it in. I don't see anything wrong with this. And hey, digital camera software. So the software is still in here. Oh, yes. Comedia Master 2.0, Windows and Mac. Adobe Photo Deluxe for Windows version 4, Macintosh version 2. And there's a software license agreement and instructions. I never used any of this stuff, ever. We have our basic instructions here on how to use it. So it's just like a fold-out map. Sure, sure. No, that looks all about right. No problem with that. And, ooh, hey, there's a remote control in here. This is really minty, I must say. So this is the remote control I never had. It's never been taken out of the packet. So I can do zoom control. There's a plus or minus, I'm not sure. Oh, because I can actually navigate through other menus through here. Plus I have a shutter button. Smart card. No, standard card. Oh, it is a smart card that's supposed to be in here, I guess. Or it's the remote instructions. Registration department. Has this been sent off as well? Return within 10 days. Nope, that's never been sent off. Authorized distributor list for the camera. The camera's right there. And there's more manuals in here. How many? Oh my god. Okay, so there's multiple manuals here. This one's in French. These are the other operating instructions. This is a thick book. Thick book, Bible page thickness. I don't mind little booklets like this. It's easy to transport around. All the instructions and all the information is in a book this big. So, cool. And is there anything else without pulling that out? Smart Media. There's a brand new Smart Media card in here. It has the little stickers. So there's little stickers that you could put onto the card. Do I want to take this out of here? No, I can't. There's little stickers that you can put on the card so you could label them, but nobody really labeled them. They would just kind of reuse it and then just like format it. It's an 8 megabyte 3.3 volt card. It's got a nice little Smart Media carrying case. I don't need that either because I have the 64 meg card. And I think now that means I can just take the camera out. How does this come out of here? There. Yeah, and there we have it. So, exact same camera, but this one is mint. What's the serial numbers? 9334. Yeah, 11675307 is the brand new one. 1167033334 is the old one. So this one here, the rubber grip is still nice and grippy. There's no scratches. There's no damage. Like, it's immaculate. Someone bought this camera and never actually used it. It must have been like a prize or a gift. Are there batteries? There's no batteries in there. Is there a memory card? There is a memory card in here. There's a 64 meg card in here. 64 megs. 64. 64. Shouldn't do this, but I should just quickly see if there's actually anything on this card. No, there's nothing. It doesn't see the card. Really? Let's reset it. No, so it wants me to format the card. The card has never been used. Yeah, shush. This card has never, ever, ever been used. It went into this camera and it stayed there its entire life. So this is, I guess you would call it a maxed out card. 64 megabytes for a camera like this is like 120 photos, which is fine. That was great. They're very high resolution photos. They were really good photos. So with these cameras, like I mentioned, you have the flash, the LCD, macro controls, drive controls are all up there. Oh, wow, this has the same problem as mine. So again, this thing's brand new and the button switch assembly here has come apart. If I remember, there's four little plastic studs which hold on a flexible board, and that's what causes this dial here to click along and work. And those break, and you have to glue them back on somehow, but you also have to maintain the alignment with the slider here as well. That's annoying. That's annoying. I remember that. That happened to me in 2010. That's one of the reasons why I retired this eventually as well. That sucks. Okay. Well, I'm not going to fix it right now, but I'm going to be more careful with it. Anyways, memory card slot, like everything on this thing is clean, immaculate, it's beautiful. The ports, which I completely ignored over. So this is the dioptic adjustment right up here. And then down here, I have a little black threaded cover, which covers over this stupid 5-pin flash connector. I have never seen anything use that stupid 5-pin flash connector because it's the only way you can use an external flash. You have a built-in flash, there's no point to it at all. And then behind this door, which is right next to the microphone, you had your serial port to transfer data off via serial, which is astoundingly slow. I never used it. your USB port with a non-standard USB connector, because that was the early 2000s, a DC input jack, which I never used, external microphone, which I never used, and your AV out with monaural audio, which again, I never used, primarily because I didn't have all the cables. So I'm going to put that off there. What else is in this box? I have a battery charger, by the looks of it. Nickel metal hydrate battery charger. Again, doesn't look like it's ever been used. There's the power cable for the charger. Hey, there's the USB cable. So this has this stupid, I don't even know the name. It's like a D-shaped USB connector. It's stupid. I've only seen it used by Olympus, and I'm just suddenly noticing now that this is gray, and if I flip it over, the other side's yellowed. But this has been in the box the whole time, hasn't it? Maybe this is another one of those situations where it's yellowed in the box over time. That's a little bizarre. Cool. Okay, we'll take that out of there. And then I have the battery charger's manual, which again is just a tome, but it's multi-language this time. That's not difficult. Apply power, put in batteries, let them charge. AC cable. There's an empty bag. I'm assuming that's for the USB cable. And here's the video cable for the camera. Again, still taped and sealed in the box, or in the bag. Monaural audio, it's like a 3.5mm tip ring sleeve arrangement. So fairly straightforward. And I think that is everything. It is. Cool. Okay, we have officially completed the unboxing. So, exactly how good was the C-2100UZ? Well, I've already sent you, or I've already shown you a whole bunch of photographs I've done with it. Here's a sample of more photographs I've taken with this camera. Thousands upon thousands of photographs were taken with them. Many of them, yes, they do feel like they were taken in the early 2000s with an early 2000s digital camera. And that's because they are. But they're great. I love them. The resolution is good. The ability at night to do long exposures was okay, although it had hot pixel issues. That may have just been my camera. Handling the images, just kind of transferring them off the card, it was good. There was no proprietary formats. If you do get one of these cameras, I recommend it, but always keep an eye out for this dial in case it begins to act up. I'm not going to do a repair of this. I already have my original camera hiding, there you are, right here. This one even has like a brand new Olympus shoulder strap. But this is a strange unboxing and review. This was the Olympus C-2100UZ. This was my second ever digital camera. The photographs are great. The camera itself is fantastic. If I had the software and cables, I could have given a better opinion on it. But instead, all I can do is provide photographs. But honestly, if a digital camera can't take good photographs, it's not really a recommendable digital camera. And this is a recommendable camera if you can find one 20 years later. I hope you like this video. I hope you like this camera. And if you have one yourself, leave comments about it. It seemed to be an okay camera when I was looking at the camera reviews back when several of the review websites were still up and running. But it's 2023 now. It's an older camera. 2 megapixels isn't much. Even my smartphone can do circles around this and everything possible. I hope you like this video. And until next time, have a good one.